Hey, Otters fans, Aaron Cooney here, joined this time by Brendan Hoffmann as we continue our NHL draft coverage here coming up in just a few days. But Hoffman, thanks for joining us. Thanks for hopping on and talking with us.
Anytime, Aaron. Anytime.
So, hey, tell me what the offseason's been like. I know it's been a long one. Obviously, I'm sure there's training mixed in, but I've seen you a good bit posting on Instagram and stuff that you've been around town and here in Erie. So what have you been up to?
Yeah, so after the season that ended, originally I trained in Toronto up the Hill Academy, but with all the complications involving the border and travel and all the quarantine risks that apply to that, me and my family thought it was smart for me to stay in Erie, close to where my family is in Warren, and just simply, just work out at, whichever facility is available and, pick the best one. And we ended up coming across the Erie Sports Fitness up at the Erie Bank Sports Park. So that's where I've been pretty much most of the summer.
What about some other spots for fun? What'd you find around Erie? How have you been spending kind of the off days?
Well, I'll definitely spend, time around the mall, time down near the lake, go out on the boat with the family, girlfriend, all that stuff. There's a lot of things to do in Erie. Obviously Presque Isle was one of them. I've been to that. I've been there a couple of times, been at the beach, even I've actually been to Chautauqua too. I've actually, Kinswood Dam too, made my way past those, up and down the mall area is really popular, up on Peach Street, all the places to eat, around one. I've been everywhere around here. So I've been doing a lot of stuff in a couple of days.
Man, you've got it all locked down here. You got the whole map. Hey,
yeah.
So one other thing I've seen you do here throughout, and more, it sounds like, is just getting involved with some charity stuff. The ALS fundraiser you knocked out of the park a few months ago. What goes into that mindset when you decide to take on a challenge like that and kind of give back to the community, especially a cause like ALS and helping out the Western Pennsylvania chapter the way you did?
Well, it's idle hands do the devil's work. It's like when you have all this time, when you have all this, you have all this availability on your hands. I mean, even if you are in season, you have periods of time where you have, you're doing probably nothing, probably staying at home or something. And it's important to not only stay active, but I guess you could say stay active with a goal in mind. One of the things that I had talked about before I initiated the idea with my parents was that it was something that kind of needed to happen in the sense that not only is it something that you do for people to, the main idea obviously was it being something that people would benefit from. I know I have family friends who have gone through it, and I've seen it happen to people. And obviously, the funds and the awareness and the activities themselves, they go towards benefiting that cause and those people. But on top of it, it's something that, you do in the community to get the community active in a way, whether it's them repeating the challenge or it's them raising awareness or them, having something in their own mind about to start something in support of whether or not it's even ALS, whether it's cancer, Alzheimer's, anything, food drives. It's something that you put in the back of their heads is something that they can do. Cause I'm just some hockey player from Charlotte, North Carolina. Anyone can do anything to raise any amount of money for anything. And to be able to inspire that through community is something that, in the end is priceless.
It's a fantastic initiative. And I know, giving back is a big thing that the organization and the Otters are all about. So I know we applauded your efforts, push as much as we could. It was a great to see you shatter that goal and everything. So let's look at this past season. Obviously, year two ends a little earlier than we expected for you. Just with the way that the things played out there in March. But how did you see yourself improve from your first season to this past season, year number 2, heading into your draft year?
One of the things that I feel improved for me the best was, physicality defensively, being able to play a role as opposed to sort of finding my spot in the team through how I play. I kind of, I did that almost in a more, not dominant, but initiating way, like almost establishing a role for myself on the team. that being, two-way forward, play physical, type of guy you'd put on the penalty kill at the end of the game, that sort of stuff. And I feel like it was evident near the beginning of the year, but it wasn't something that had been fully immersed into how I play. So I feel like I greatly improved on that over the course of the year. But things like something like skating, like defensive awareness is something that I think improved tremendously between my first year and my second year.
So what was like some of the focuses you put on yourself then this past long off season that you had? About 6 months here we're looking at, and it's going to go a little longer before we get going in November training camp. But taking those things you just mentioned, how do you get better and improve even further on that when there's no games, no ice? We didn't get playoffs and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's crazy to, say you've had an off season when in reality you've had probably about 2 almost. So I'd say the goal for this off season, the moving forward, was to almost not necessarily move my focus, but add to the game more offensive, more aggressive, piece that I didn't have, say, these past 2 years. Obviously, I think I had 23 points, and, both my line mates are really good scorers, and they're really good, complementers to, how I would like to play. And I feel like I complement their game pretty well. So, I'm trying to, keep myself up with the way they're scoring and stuff like that. So, obviously getting the scoring touch, adding elements to my game that allow me to be around the net more, capitalize more, are things that I've been working on. But I feel like first and foremost has definitely been skating, my endurance, and my puck handling. It's definitely been things that I've been putting primary focus on.
What did it mean to you to be included on these draft lists? I mean, obviously we're coming into the NHL entry draft in just a few days and everything, but to be included on there and see your name on that list, does it give you just that much more of a boost in a season to know, there's a little more pressure on you, you've been looked at, your guys are watching and everything? Do you kind of feel that? Do you kind of thrive off of that?
It feels good, to have your name up there with guys who are, like their names in the draft, you're on the same list that, people read, scouts read, people who watch the draft, they read it. It's good to see your name up there and almost know from a perspective where you need to get better and like who you need to, start playing better than supposedly, or, it's just good to know that you're out there, and it certainly adds motivation to making yourself be better in terms of that specific list. Obviously, it's something that you don't want to put outright inherit solely one-minded focus into, because it can easily get to you. But it's good. It's good to have.
So this was your second year in the OHL, but you're in that unique situation where being a late birth year guy, and you were just talking about how the second year gave you more of an opportunity to play the role rather than just going out there and playing a game. Like you found your role in everything this year.
Yeah.
Does a late birth help you in that situation? Does it give you a better opportunity as you come into this draft coming up and even next season?
It gives you a good opportunity. Obviously, you've had guys on our team that have had the late birth date, and they've come to the league in their first year of eligibility. I came my second year. So, I've got the same draft year as, say, a guy like Cohen, Sador, obviously Jamie, guys like that. Even though being a year younger, it does add experience. I played a year at U18, and it kind of allowed me to understand, the difference physically that'll be happening the second you come to the O. Actually being in the OHL is definitely something that capitalized on that experience. So it's being able to be older, yet also be in the situation that, guys on your team that are younger than you in the age category are, with added experience that you maybe have played a year in somewhere different, in a different situation, in a different role, and attribute that to playing at a higher level. I mean, obviously I've been on this team the same amount of years as these guys. I'll be a year older. I'll probably have one less year of eligibility, but I've also played one extra year maybe not for the Otters, but feel like it adds perspective to how you play.
So with that all said, Brendan, you're going into year 3. What are your goals for next season? I mean, this team made it qualified for the playoffs, didn't get to actually play, but what are the goals for you, and what can this team accomplish next season?
Well, obviously, first and foremost, we want to make playoffs just like we did last year. Well, maybe not in the same manner, hopefully, but we definitely want to make playoffs. And I feel like guys in the locker room, along with myself, believe that this is the group we want, moving forward to, go forward, make a playoff run eventually, and definitely be able to, bring a championship back to Erie, have a Memorial Cup appearance. Obviously those are very high stakes goals for a team that's, we finished 8th last year in the conference. But, everyone in our locker room, I feel, universally believes that we can do that. Me and myself personally, I feel like if I want to be a part of that championship team, or, if I want to attribute and help us, is to be, a physical two-way presence, someone who can, be relied on in defensive and offensive situations. Just a guy who can, be out there in any situation and know it's secure, it's, reliable. Mm-hmm. So, like, a reliable two-way physical player is something that I want to be. So I definitely feel like, as compared to last year, I want to contribute more offensively and defensively, but a little bit more emphasis on offensive. Yeah.
Good stuff. Hoff, thanks for your time. Really appreciate it. We're wishing you and all the Otters luck here coming up the NHL draft, and hoping to hear a handful of Otters called coming up on Tuesday and Wednesday.
All right. Sounds good.
Thanks, Hoff. Take care.
Thank you very much, Aaron.